Now, let's declare a variable integer number1 equals to a value 10, and another variable number2 equals to a value 10. So I have two variables that have the same starting value, and that is 10. Now, num1 is incrementing its value through plus plus, and num2 is incrementing its value through plus plus before the variable. So this is called post increment operator, and this is called pre-increment operator, because it has the increment sign before, that's increment sign after. Okay, now write line num1 is and num2 is. And you will notice that they both are what? 11. So it doesn't matter you do pre-increment or you do post-increment, on the variable will have the same impact if it is done in a separate instruction. So this is one case where pre or post has no difference. The other case you looked at in the loop. Okay, now let's copy this line. Num1 is this and num2 is this, and paste it on the next line. We will keep the same instruction in the double quotes, but here I am putting parentheses around each one of them. Okay. The first one, which is num1, I'm doing plus plus, which is after, and num2 I'm doing plus plus before. That's the only difference. Do you see difference in output? Right? The pre versus post. But as you know from lines 21 and 22, both must have incremented because of pre or post. But why is there a difference in output? The reason is, in case of number1, it's a post increment. So what happened is, it first gave its value out to display, which was 11, and then incremented to 12, num1, because it's post increment. And the second one is a pre-increment. That means it first incremented it to the next value, which is 12, and then it gave its value out to the display instruction. Is everybody following that? Pre does the increment and then displays, post first displays, then does the increment. So if you write it within the instruction for display, the pre and post will act differently. Is num1 12 as well at the end of the instruction? Yes. Let's test it. Let's see what exactly is the value of num1. Num1 is, okay, so I'm only displaying the value of num1 just to make sure that num1 also incremented to 12. And we see that it did increment to 12. So the difference between pre and post is in the output. That's one place where they may act differently. Let's look at another case where they may act differently. Okay, let's introduce two more variables on line number 20. Number 3, which is set to a value of 0, and number 4, which is set to a value of 0 as well. So I have two additional variables on line 20, number 3 and number 4. Num1 on line 25, what was it? 12. And num2 was also 12. Okay, so let's do this. Num3 equals to num1 and num4 equals to num2. So I copy pasted line number 24 here, and I will just change my variables. This is for num1, num2, and this is for num3 and num4. So I introduced lines 26 through 29. So when you run it, they all should come out as 12. Num1 is 12, num2 is 12, num3 is 12, and num4 is 12. Make sure on line 28 you just have num1. Yeah, don't have plus plus. Get rid of plus plus. It's just num1, num2, num3, num4. Now on line number 26, in case of num1, add plus plus after num1, and in case of num2, add plus plus before num2. And then rerun it. And what do you see? Is everybody 13? Nope, not everybody is 13. Num3 is still 12. Why is num3 still 12? Same reason. It's a post increment. So the value before the change was 12. So it gave 12 over to num3 and then incremented to 13. As a result, num3 received the value of 12. In case of num4, it's a pre-increment. So first num2 incremented to the next value, which is 13, and then assigned the 13 to num4. So that's why num4 is 13. So these are two cases where pre and post will work differently. 1 in the output, 2 on the right-hand side of equals. Otherwise, in both cases, you notice they both incremented by 1. They have no impact on themselves. They have the similar impact on themselves. But what they give out may be different if they are acting on either the output instruction or if they are giving it out to somebody else. So that's where you have to be careful when you're using pre or post. Otherwise, the variables will increment. And the same impact is with decrement. Exactly the same thing. It's just subtraction. Pre-subtraction, post-subtraction.